up from the Nyx Assassin. Plenty of kind of global kill opportunities here with the AA being involved. GXR, though, they'll go into the Tidehunter now. So a much more stable kind of offlane pickup. Much harder to deal with for Omega, but they won't seem too concerned about it. They go for the Axe pickup. Now, this hero was quite nerfed in the recent patch. For some reason, they nerfed the shard percentage chance, and not just the fact that the Manta style was causing the illusions to spin. I feel like you could have just nerfed Manta on Axe and everyone would have been happy. But instead, John, they had to ruin the hero altogether. And now his shard is only half as good. And GXR, they'll go for the TA pickup. No real thinking about it.
Yeah. It's it's TI flashbacks, isn't it? Tidehunter TA again coming through for GXR. We'll have to see if it pays off. I'm trying to recall if they did this last time. I'm gonna have a quick little check. And no, they didn't. But I believe we did have a team that did give that a shot, and it didn't feel amazing. We'll see if Galaxy Racer can kind of work through it, make this minus armor synergy with TI TA work out. They are closing out with the support again, so Omega's got a lot of leeway now to choose their big core to counteract this. As for Omega's side, they don't have the best ways to burn through refraction. I guess cold feet and battle hunger is one way, but it doesn't necessarily work like a Viper, which just ticks away very, very fast. So the TA still has some mobility on hand here. You don't have instantaneous control from Omega, so you can play on the bleeding edge here for Alacrity. We just got to see what Tino picks up. I think when you've got the Axe Tiny, you can afford to go for a really big farming core for Tino, something that doesn't have to be too active. We'll see. Like, a lot of cores are left in the pool. Like, you have the Troll, you have the Slark still available. You can go back to the Wraith King if you wanted to. Try the Ursa out. A lot of different ways to kind of tie this one up. And GXR, I mean, they have to close for the support. Probably, I'd say that's actually a pause for a line here for JoeCam. We'll have to see what they give to Paulson play with, but it's still fairly open. You have really good control. I think you might want to just pile on to maybe additional control. More stunts is always good. They go with the Undying instead, so Undying 5. They've got good heals. They've got tanky heroes to play with. Undying and Jug can sustain your team in a fight, and in lane, the Undying can at least help you get some aggression out with the K-stacks and the Soul Rip. So you do have some options to be aggressive on GXR, and that should give them ways of punishing the Axe. Like, the K on Axe makes it feel really bad, especially since you just want to stand in the middle and, get your spins off.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a very smart pick here from GXR, because even with the Axe and the Nyx Assassin, you can't deal with the Undying whatsoever. You've actually got nothing to deal with it in the laning phase. So this will be a very kind of free game here for Paulson, I think, on that Undying. But let's see what Omega do with their last pickup. They are essentially still lacking a POS 1, maybe even a POS 2 if they want to run the tiny POS 1. They're feeling a little bit spicy. What would you like in that POS 1 role, Omega? It feels like they can't really afford for something that goes too late game here. Like, you're going into a TA Jug, they might be able to just kind of run you down, especially the TA. We have been seeing a lot of TAs of late, and it does look very powerful right now in this current meta. I don't think you want something that's going to need to farm too much, because it's going to be very hard to do that when you've got a fast-paced lineup like what GXR have. Definitely very different to the last draft they went for. You're right, John. Something looked like it just startled you.
Yeah, something fell on the roof. Our neighbor has like an avocado tree, so sometimes it drops avocados on our side, and it makes a really loud bang sound. So it just kind of shakes you. You don't expect an avocado to drop.
You don't expect
and this is what I was going to say.
John.
I wanted a range hero. They had 3 melee heroes up against Undying. You mentioned it. They had no way of dealing with the Undying as the game went on, especially with that Tombstone. The Sniper, an easy way to reach into the back. Your mobility for GXR, not amazing. Blink on TA is probably your best bet. In this game, I'd actually say you might want the Axe, because Sniper is going to burn through your refraction. There's Battle Hunger. There's the Cold Feet as well. There's a lot of DOTs now to help you manage the TA's mobility. So blinking might not be as easy in this game. It could be a really good Axe game, but that is a 4,200 gold item, so it will take a while to build up. But that is a safe lane sniper. So Mac is still in that tiny mid. we don't tend to see that safe lane sniper for good reason. We'll have to see if Tino can hold out, but you think about that lane as well. It's a sniper against Tide. You've got a lot of range. You're not under threat from Anchor Smash. Gush could be something, but as the levels build up, you can easily zone out that Tide Hunter with your Shrapnel spam as well.
Yeah, I've got to be frank. I think the sniper is pretty underrated in the carry role right now. I think it is actually kind of secretly very, very strong. Just teams haven't really paid it its respect yet. But let's see if Omega are going to be able to make it work. I think it was a very smart pick because GXR really don't have much in the way of catching that sniper until you have those blinks up on Joe Cam and on your mid TA from Alacrity. So let's see if they can make this draft work up against Omega to try and force to a game 3. John, we should have a quick gander at the loot bet odds as well before the game 2 really does start. But we'll head into the game first. There is a big smoke up. And the odds are apparently in the favor of GXR regardless of what's going on. So there you go.
Yeah, that's pretty optimistic, I'd have to say. I think Omega's draft is really lined up well. Then again, you have a lot of good mid-game tempo from GXR.
Hold on, John. Tino's trying to find his chicken.
That's what you get for inviting people to go out for McDee's, I guess. I don't know what's going on. They're in a good mood. That's at least there for GXR. You know, after that first game, having your morale still up at a point where you can play normally is always important. And we'll see if it holds up. That smoke play doesn't really lead to too much, but you do have a lot of wards mid now for the side of GXR. Watching the bot rune, watching the top rune spot, so you're going to be able to get control. CML, he does have the sentry down, so instant value for him. Unfortunately, looks like they had to play with a tree toss to get vision, so he only gets one hit off.
Yeah, I mean, Max got another tree toss. Just wait, be a little patient here, CML. There you go. Mac will get it done. They might lose the bounties over this, though, in all fairness. Shanks is trying to have a fight here with Sam H, but In Your Dream gets the spin-off. Shanks, he's going to survive, but he takes a hell of a lot of damage on that Nyx Assassin. He won't mind too much anyway. The regen on the Nyx is quite nice, so kind of just passively regen that up before they do get back into the laning phase. And speaking of those lanes, John, Omega will have Sam H there with Shanks. The Axe and Nyx up against Polison on the Undying, and of course In Your Dream on the Jug. And we did kind of run over this throughout the draft, but it does feel like Polison should have a very, very good game on this Undying. At least for the laning stage, there's not really much that Sam H can do, and of course there's not really much that Shanks can do either. But Shanks is getting prepared for the smart thing, which is to pull the creep wave away. You can't directly contest the Undying. The best you can do is just pull the creep wave over and over again. And that way, Sam H can actually get some farm going for himself.
Yeah, it's dual melee lane up against Undying, so you have to just play the lane, get your levels up before looking for that added aggression. Once you hit their level 2, level 3, it feels a lot nicer. But you'll always have to be a bit worried about the decay spam. So just have to hold out in these early lanes and just get as much EXP as possible. Should hold steady here for In Your Dream. Not going to be too much of a challenge for him to find CS. So at the very least, you will get that. But losing 2 couriers early on does hurt. That's a lot of gold. It makes up for the fact you missed out on 1 bounty. So Omega kind of even it out by just getting those good snipes going.
Certainly so. Of course, in the mid lane, you've got Mac there up against Alacrity. But now Alacrity going to have a pretty darn decent time on that TA. And of course, Mac can get rid of the refraction charges with Avalanche. And he's already going to max that out. But I think Alacrity will still have a pretty darn good time on this Temporary Assassin. He does tend to play the hero a lot as well. It seems to be one of his signature heroes here for Alacrity. So I imagine he really won't have too difficult of a time here up against this Tiny.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Mac to completely control the lane. Once you get some good side blades bouncing through with his Blightstone, it can be painful for a Tiny. Like, you've got 0 base armor. You're not going to be able to trade all too well. You're limited by your mana pool and harassment for Mac, and you're limited by your tree grab charges as well. So kind of have to watch that back and forth a bit. Not too bad, though. Right now, Mac's holding steady, even in last hit, so it's holding fine, but by level 5, level 6, that's where it can get really spicy. So you're going to have to watch the EXP gain on the mid. Up top, it's been a bit more back and forth. We were seeing Tino drop relatively low on his safe lane sniper, and it's been a bit of a struggle for him. CML can't really do too much. joecamp's just applying so much pressure, walking up, getting the right-click trades, and Tino, despite having that slight range advantage, still doesn't have shrapnel, so you can't fully zone out Mizu. There's some really good synergy with AA Sniper. You get some Ice Vortex off with shrapnel. That can really melt the tide early on. Tino does hit level 3 now, so he's got it up, but I think at this point you'd want to look for level 2, level 3 shrapnel before really looking to be aggressive in this lane.
Oh, bottom lane, Sam H trying to go for the first blood, but no, they both go down in your dream. Paulson survives through it all. Sam H, he will get tipped by both. Oh, that is a terrible start from Omega now. In Your Dream gets a free double kill for himself and a free lane at this point now. And Paulson, he's going to salve up. He's going to pop a Clarity. That means he will remain in the bot lane. They were so darn close as well, but they really tried to get the kill underneath the spin of In Your Dream, and that's never really a great idea.
No, it really hurts, especially since it's at level 2 now. And you have to remember the decay spam coming through the tombstone far away from these two melee heroes means that they can't clear it out. So you get full value from the tombstone. You don't have to worry about maximizing that level for Paulson. He can go 1-3-1. And now Omega's got to hold steady in lane. They are at their level 3 spikes, but because they give those kills away, In Your Dream has a free time here. They're just trying to contest pulls, contest the camps. Paulson doesn't mind us. If he doesn't die, he can just always soul rip himself back to help.
That he can, but Sam H not going to go for the creep skip, and he's going to be careful of those spins. Sam H has a lot of creeps around him. Paulson's going to try and stick around and be as annoying as humanly possible. It's like the Axe is going to be just fine to continue securing his own farm. Every other lane, though, going quite peacefully along. I had a look back up the top lane, and Tino, while he is starting to slowly get that farm up now, he is still struggling a bit. I suppose Mizu on the Tide just able to get quite a few denies off on this Tide Hunter, and naturally he is quite a tanky boy, so until you've got those levels up in the headshot, you're probably not really going to get rid of him. In fact, Tino's opting to max out the shrapnel anyway, so we're just wanting to abuse that little combo you talked about earlier with the Ice Vortex and the shrapnel. And we haven't seen it quite yet, but hopefully soon we'll see CML set something up.
Yeah, it's tricky for Tino, mainly because Mizu is so aggressive. He walks up, he gushes, close enough to make it awkward for Tino to find the angle, although joecamp.
Yeah, he's in trouble now. Hex is out, joecamp, Soul Rip is even there. Paulson coming in to help, but CML still secures the kill. They should be able to get a trade going, and they will. So overall, not too bad, but it does require the presence of Paulson. In the end, you could probably argue that Omega came out a bit on top there. Paulson looks like he's going to run his way back anyway. As bot lane, not really too much pressure being applied here by Omega. I thought maybe with Paulson gone, they try to just run down In Your Dream, but they might even try. Shanks, he's going to cut him off. Impale. Just pump fake to try and force him to spin, but he didn't have it anyway. Like Sam H is going to just keep pulling the creep wave away, trying to get those really kind of efficient farming going for the Axe, and just has no interest in trying to lane against the jungle any further, it seems. Especially considering In Your Dream is already level 6, so he has the Omni up. It's probably just not really worth it.
Yeah, not really guaranteed kill. Maybe if you got an early rotation for a Mac, but right now they're just holding even that lane. GXR are really trying to apply pressure top though. Like, they still haven't left with Paulson. They're still trying to maximize the siege creep. Tino's all the way behind that tier 1 top. It's not really, I mean, just trying to stay safe, but they do commit.
TP's in. Got Mac around. Looks like they are going to try and focus in on Paulson and Mizu. Mizu, he does have Ravage up. He's trying to pop it. He will eventually get it off, but it is way too late. That was a very nice rotation in from Mac. And that's going to feel like a pretty bad Ravage. So he was trying to pop it throughout the avalanche, but he just could not get through the spell animation.
It's a toughie. Like, they missed the initial Earth Spike from Jokam, so the kill just couldn't happen. The Tombstone, in this case, level 1, Sniper just eats right through it, despite having level 2 Soul Rip, so have to be cautious about how you commit. The one silver lining for GXR is that they've got really good farm on Alacrity. Like, it's not the best farm in your dream when you look at it, but Alacrity's definitely been left alone for too long. So the Dragon Lance is going to come out fast. Lots of good stats, added range, along with the talent that you do get. A 10 feels amazing for the TA. And then from there, you just go for your Desolator into Blink. Heck, some games you don't even go for the Deso. In this case, with a Tide, you might be able to skip it. There's enough minus armor just from the Gush to enable you to still burst heroes down, and you could prioritize the mobility in this case. Mega's part, this pace of game is rather slow. 3-3, although...
Ooh, Shanks. All those side blades, he's looking for it. Oh, he misses the impale. Nice little pick up there for Alacrity, and he's right into that mid-tier 1. Ooh. However, In Your Dream ends up going down to Sam H, and immediately Sam H gets the tip back. Even with these higher levels on the Jug, if you get a nice call off for Sam H, he's going to be able to secure the kill. He's even gone for the double bracer build-up on the Axe to be able to tank through the Spin and Omni. However, while Sam H did that, the mid lane has fallen.
Yeah, it's a nice objective for Alacrity. He can start to farm safely in his triangle, knowing that rotations coming in from mid are a bit tougher. You managed to catch out Paulson, though.
He's dropped the Tombstone. Mac, he'll forget about the hero. He'll go after the Tombstone instead. I guess it's almost more worth anyway to get the Tombstone, but a nice deny off by Paulson. Impale in, though, it's going to cost him his life. So either way, they get the gold. Meanwhile, top lane, In Your Dream, he commits the Omni. He'll get a nice, easy kill onto CML.
Yeah, it's fairly worthwhile. You just want to get that spell on cooldown. You're not expecting to join big team fights yet for In Your Dream. He just wants to farm. Almost done with a Maelstrom. And they are invading that jungle because of the mid-tier 1 being taken out. So Mizu's clearing out camps. This is great. Denying safe farming spots here for Tino. Just got his Midas as well, so he's got to be cautious here.
Run out. Tino does get the Midas off, but it's still going to be a death for him. That's the thing with the Sniper, right? Like, you need to be able to farm up. The mid-tier 1 tower is gone, so he cannot afford to farm like that. It's just too open. There's no way for your team to help you if they do jump in.
It's a massive risk, and GXR, with that slight advantage they have, they're going to look to make a play top. They've got Ravage ready on Mizu. He's got the bottle with an Arcane as well. This could be really big if they find a right target.
Oh, call. Ooh. Oh, that's a very nice Hex from Jokam. That was an instant Hex from Jokam. My goodness. Mizu. Assassinate out. Avalanche is there. Sam H not able to get the blink off this time. EXR, they had the Ravage just in case on Mizu, but I suppose if they landed the call, they may have been able to burst him down in time. Still, there's going to be a smoke up. Omega, they really want to make this Blink Dagger work on Sam H. It's a very, very early timing on the Axe, and right into that Radiant Triangle, but who do they find? Have a look around through the mid lane, see if they can find a prime target. They'll have to go to the other side of the jungle. It's a bit of a walk here for Sam H and Shanks. Eventually, In Your Dream is going to be spotted, but they made the jump in on Alacrity instead. Ice Blast going to fly in. Impale is not there. Shanks, he's going to try and get out. It looks like he is screwed, however. Meanwhile, towards the north, Paulson, he just keeps going. With the Flesh Golem, just keep chasing down Max, slow him down for the Earth Spike to connect, and they'll be able to get the tiny kill. CML, he's going to try and run, but In Your Dream is going to be right behind him, and he is pretty screwed himself. He does get taken out, and it was a very unfortunate set of circumstances. It looks like Sam H and Shanks were just not on the same page. In Your Dream got jumped by Sam H, or rather, Alacrity got jumped by Sam H. In Your Dream, he was being focused by Shanks, and you just didn't have the damage for either of them.
Yeah, just way too split up. The coordination from Omega not on point. and they miss out a lot. It's a 2k lead for GXR off the back of that. Losing your Tiny hurts a ton. The blink's not even done yet for Mac. One of the slower timings for that Tiny, and it always hurts when you don't see that Tiny blink by, say, 10 minutes. 10 minutes is, I think, the ideal time to see it. It is out now, so you can set up for your team a lot faster, but you really need to play with those combos because you need so much more time for the sniper to cook up. So these heroes have to be placed.
SamH jumps in again, misses the call, and Shanks was around with the Vendetta. I'm not sure why you don't just wait for the Impel setup. So they just really wanted to max out the efficiency there to get the Vendetta strike off, but they missed the kill now, and in your dream, he's got help around. He's fine. In fact, they'll TP away, down towards the bot side where Mac, he's going to try and run, but Jocam's going to cut him off by TPing to the outpost, stuns him up, he has the Hex up if he needs it, and he will commit. In your dream, he doesn't have mana for the Omni, so he might miss out on this. In fact, CML comes in onto Jocam with the Assassinate. They will be the ones to get the kill. In your dream, I believe could have used his stick charges to get enough mana for the Omni, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
No, he didn't have enough. He had one stick charge, and I think he was about at 166 mana, so
right,
just below the point where he could. Missed opportunity. You're seeing the combination with the AA Sniper, Ice Blast, Assassinate is one way to secure kills. So you can easily 360 no-scope for Tino. And that's the hurting point right now for GXR. They haven't been able to counter the Sniper, but they do get themselves a free rush. Scan spots it out. He's still going to have that second life. He's got the Deso Dragon Lance, although...
Yeah, nice little snipe there from Mac. You've got Alacrity with the Aegis, so you're still happy for GXR, but at least you get some kind of killer. Now SamH, he's trying to go on to Mizu. Mizu does not have any help around him. He can Ravage if he really wants, or he can just try to run, but Mac is going to be there with the Avalanche Toss. Call misses again. It won't matter though. They'll dunk on his head. But these missed calls, they're starting to scare me a little bit for SamH. It's not the first time, and you've really got to land those calls as his hero. If you can't land them, it doesn't really do much.
Yeah, it's one of those things, right? Sometimes you miss all your early game blink calls, but later on you become a god. So we'll see if that's the case for SamH. The smoke coming out from Omega not working out, and SamH is alone.
Well, you jinxed him, John. SamH. There you go. There's your call. Gets fingered by Jocam. However, big rotation in Alacrity. Ice Blast into the Avalanche Toss. A very nice setup by Mac. They might be able to secure the Aegis, but no. But he's going to be just fine. Fraction saves his first life, and so that's going to be enough for him to get a reset from Polison. They could try again if they really want, but I think they're going to need the Ice Blast to really secure the kill on onto that TA. They'll just leave him be.
Yeah, you're still waiting for more farm here in Smart Omega. They're buying out a lot of space for Tino. So they could just keep playing as 4, prevent more towers from falling. It looks like GXR is really not scared of the Sniper because they're not warding up the jungle. They're not making use of the forward vision they have up top. They're not warding the triangle area. They're just allowing Tino, who's very exposed right now, just with the Midas and the Maelstrom, to keep building up. Once he gets the Hurricane Pike, he feels a lot better about his range and defensive capabilities. And then it's at that point where itemization opens up. Daedalus could come out, Mjolnir could come out, a whole slew of items are available for Tino, and that's when the Sniper pick really becomes spicy. So GXR, they still have that network lead, but Omega's not far behind enough that GXR should feel comfy. I think there's still some pressure on them to look for some fight opportunities. Mizu is still waiting for his blink on the Tide. Nat could be what lets them start to set up the BKB on Alacrity as well. It's going to open up the possibilities for TA not caring about the Tiny and all the control coming through from Omega. So they could just wait for that to come through. You do have the blink up on Alacrity now, so just Mizu's blink left, and they will smoke up with just that. They've got a lot of physical burst. You just need to find a nice squishy target.
See if they can find one. SamH, he's not quite squishy, but he's around. Got the blade mail up though, so you've got to be a little bit cautious. They'll break the smoke. SamH, he's going to go for a run. Just blink out of there. There was actually 4 heroes from GXR around that bot lane around Sam H, but they're not going to be able to catch him out. He'll be alright. That'll be it. Nobody else is around here for GXR to try and snipe. And I gotta say, in some way, this is gonna be working really nicely for Tino, because he is still freely farming up. And I know that people are still gonna underestimate the sniper pick, but he's got a growth bow as well, by the way. So more range with the Dragonlance. And this stupid hero, at some point, is gonna be, you're not gonna be able to deal with him. I'm telling you right now, John, that you're not gonna be able to deal with him if this goes too late.
Yeah, the issue is it takes a lot of time, and it will make some plays right now.
A nice finger. From a mile away. And I'll tell you what, John, with all these line picks we've been seeing, I know the nerf's coming very soon for this hero.
Oh, no.
Yeah?
I'm fine with it, actually. Now, I've moved on, Mike. I'm a
really?
full Warlock player. Yeah, I just play Warlock. It's it. I just sit back, I heal my dummies, I speak in ATC voice, you know, keep everyone calm, drop the golem. You know, it's all nice and relaxing. What's not nice and relaxing is this tier 2 push. Tino?
Oh, what a hex out! Joe Camp! He's always getting the instant hex off! How's he doing that? Ice Blast Avalanche Sauce is there. Mizu's gonna die and your dream's gone! Never mind. It was a great instant hex, but you just lost your safe lane carry. And your off lane. Joe Cam, he's going to be caught as well. The assassinate to fly through, and they've got him.
Oh, Aegis expired.
They're going to call off Sam H. Aegis has gone now. Max still having a look around. Can't get Polison. They'll go after that mid-tier 1 tower, but how is Joe Cam getting these instant hexes? I mean, this man must be really waiting there for the blink in from Sam H. Polison. Tombstone going to be taken out. Meld Strike going to be there onto Sam H, but he'll run away. They really want to just try and defend this mid-tier 1 tower. They will be able to successfully do so, but yeah, they'll just deny it off. They know they can't keep it alive much longer. Just get rid of it. GXR, they need to be very cautious here. I mean, they are not really that far ahead. Only 1k in fact. And like I said, Tino with this Midas, he's got the Hurricane Pike up now. He's decided not to use the Grove Bow. In fact, going for the Quicksilver Amulet. So no Grove Bow yet.
No, this is more obnoxious, Mike. The projectile speed being so much higher,
of course,
means the damage just flies in quicker. It's obnoxious. It's so obnoxious on the sniper. I love it. Oh, Mac.
Nice blast. It did not connect. Shanks gonna chase him down with the Vendetta, but won't be able to catch him out. TML find out the hard way that Polison and Alacrity are around. Gets the cold feet off at least on Alacrity. Shanks is going to be around, and they do get the cold feet to freeze. But nobody really wants to make the jump in yet on Alacrity. Or just leave him be.
The jungle has everything Axe desire.
Meanwhile, the rest of Omega, I mean, they still seem very satisfied with farming right now. Yeah, Tino's going for the Iron Skadi next up, and I think that's going to make it very hard to actually close the gap on him.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of slows. You've got the AA slows, you've got the sniper just constantly twacking you, you get headshot as well. It's gonna feel really annoying. The heals from your jug is not gonna feel great, and the heals from your Undying, once that healing reduction's up, along with the Ice Blast, of course. So a lot of good synergy coming out from Omega. They do smoke up. They can keep trying to run around with their spells. There is a Ravage available in GXR, and they're also smoked up. So we'll see who does get the better jump in here.
Right now, both teams are running the exact opposite way, so I don't know if there's going to be really much of a jump. GXR, they were trying to head towards the Dire Triangle, but nobody's going to be around. Instead, they're going to try and go to the high ground. They will catch out the Nyx Assassin. The rest of Omega, they just back out. They're not interested in trying to go for the fight, even though they have that high ground advantage. It looks like they were kind of missing their sniper, Tino. who TP back towards the base or just ran back. So now instead, they're kind of stuck just trying to defend this mid tier 2 without their Nyx. And it won't be able to work out that way. Tier 2 goes down, GXR, they'll immediately back off and try to force a Roshan.
Yep, they're going to be able to melt it real quick with the Desolator up, with their chug around. Not going to take too long. Omega can force a fight in there. They do have vision. They know the rush is happening. They need to move now. But it is melting rather quick, so that's a big one to give out for free. Ag Shard flying out, Cheese and Aegis. You've got a lot of potential upgrades here. I think the silence on Alacrity is just so darn nice. Like the psionic traps with silence. Why does it have that? It's basically global silence anywhere on the map. That's just kind of ridiculous. And you tie that with the Ags down the line, so you TP in, you silence the person you're on top of. How's that balanced? For a 1,400 gold item.
Well, I mean, you know, Alacrity, he doesn't have a silence, John. He needs one. That's very balanced. not like this hero's like a glass cannon or anything. You know, you can play a bit of utility too. Mac. Stun out from Jokam. He's caught the big one. Alacrity going to move in with Mizu. They TP all of them down and make sure Mac just dies. They'll get him. Nice little pick up there onto the Tiny and Omega. They are kind of just stuck waiting again. I'm kind of wondering now at what point Tino's going to feel confident enough to really get involved in these fights. Maybe once the Scotty's up. Perhaps that's the answer.
Yeah. And the Scotty's nice. I think you might look for a little bit more on Tino. You know how it is with sniper players, Mike. They want to just keep farming. Just keep farming. Your high ground's being taken. Just keep farming. Build up. You know, maybe throw a couple of shrapnels. Shanks is in a very weird spot. He actually got hit by the sideways.
Oh, Jokam found him as well. Great line play here from Jokam. On the brighter side, he did buy his Aghanim Scepter on the Nyx before he does go down, but nonetheless, he did go down. Now GXR, they're going to try and push in that top tier 2 tower. Omega, call is there. Sam H into the Ice Blast. In Your Dream needs to try and run, but he might die anyway. He's still just trying to spin his way to victory. Meanwhile, Sam H looks like he is dead to Alacrity, and Mac's going to be in danger now. A nice avalanche, but there is no backup.
Thanks for playing Dota 2.
Sam H, he cops the tip from In Your Dream. Paulson will give him one as well. And now they're off to the high ground.
And this is where we have to see Tino play that high ground sniper defense. They need to just hold on, wait for the Scotty to fly in. It is flying out now. Just need to prevent more from dropping and play around that Ags on Shanks.
They've got the Ags up as well. Some great high ground defense. Back In Your Dream, he's going to have to spin and run. They will try to go after the Burrowed Nyx Assassin, but he's just taking no damage. This Aghanim Scepter is way too good into the double impel now. And look at this. Here we go. It begins. The sniper. Alacrity. He's going to try and BKB and TP away because that's all he can do. Paulson, he'll be all right.
Man, this is the high ground defense that you dream of. Sniper plus Nyx Ags with a burrow. Way too potent. They couldn't really even commit the Ravage coming after Mizu, so they didn't have the angle they'd want. They still hold on to Aegis and Cheese. They hold on to the Cheese at the very least. No Aegis anymore. Omega? Oh,
they found a massive target. Alacrity, he just TP'd out with his BKB, but they never got the toss off. So Alacrity, he's going to survive through it. With that, GXR back to the drawing board. I'm going to point out as well, I'm quite shocked In Your Dream never went for an early Blink Dagger here on the jug. Maybe he believes he could just depend on Alacrity to take out Tino, but at some point, and there you go, he's queued it up now. I was going to say, you really do need that Blink Dagger into a Swift Blink later on. Otherwise, you're probably not going to be able to deal with the Tino sniper.
You need some mobility on hand to gap close into the back line. Gonna help out the cause. He's gonna have his own Scotty up as well.
Mac.
Although Mac
caught out. Meld Strike's there. The Avalanche gonna hold them back for a bit, but the Finger's out as well. They will get the kill. They were not expecting the 4-man smoke, but here we go. They'll start a team fight. Sam H, a double call out. They want Paulson first. The Ice Blast, it'll be enough. But now Alacrity and In Your Dream gonna turn around and they'll kill off Sam H. Tino, oh, he's been hexed up. Jokam, he's got him. Shank's going to try and hold them back, but there's a big Ravage up from Mizu. Sam H, he will try to save with the call. Tino's trying to run, but there's your Omni out. They will be able to get the sniper, and he's got no buyback.
Impossible.
He has got no buyback.
Oh boy.
Oh, this is just standard, isn't it, John? Shanks,
Yep.
an ultra kill for In Your Dream. That might be GG.
Yeah, I mean, exposed top, mid is just gonna fall. They could just rush to tier 4s. Not much to stop them. Respawns are still fairly long, and they can't get megas though. I think that's what's keeping Omega in the game. The mega creep's not an option in tier 3 standing, so GXR is still gonna have to maybe force one more fight here. Maybe if they can find a kill on the Tiny and the AA, and then immediately kill off Shanks when he comes back in, that could definitely close it out. But Mac can't do much. Just stare as the buildings fall. And are they going to force it into the T-Force? Yeah, they'll just go for it.
Then they know they haven't got the buybacks. That's the thing, right? So if you can just win another team fight here for GXR, the game's won. They understand this. So Alacrity, he's going to chip away at the Tier 4 tower. He even has a Daedalus up now. But no, in the end, they do play it safe. They're going to back off. They'll wait for the next moment. No, Mega. Let's hope this time around they save for their buybacks. They are still against the TA, and they've got to respect the amount of push potential she has. Just that one mistake costing them 2 lane of barracks. It's going to make the game that much more difficult to try and turn around now. This mid lane, Paulson, he is showing. They don't have Ravage right now, GXR, but they're feeling quite confident to go for another fight. At the very least, they're going to just try and lock out the side of Omega. Make sure they cannot secure any form of farm.
They're going for that tier 2 bot next, it looks like. Already have In Your Dream coming back to the creep wave to shove it out. So looking for the mega creeps first. They've got the blink up on this Jug. He can help and jump onto that sniper now. Really the big issue is that they've allowed Jokam to just set up. He blinks, he gets the hex, you're dead. There's no BKB up yet on Tino. He's trying to queue it up, but it's a long way from finishing that off. So they've got to stall for more time somehow. Omega need to get their coordination together. They need big blink calls from Stamage. He's hit a couple on the high ground, but it hasn't felt like an amazing game for Stamage this time around. GXR has just had his number, and they might go for a sneaky play through the top lane. They are smoked up here in GXR's end.
Straight to the mid, there goes Mizu, a nice big Ravage out. Nobody in position to try and help. They're onto Mac. Where's the help out? He does BKB up. Sam H gets the call off onto the Undying. Paulson will go down. Tino now, he's keeping back to the base. He'll try to join the team fight. Alacrity going to try and back as Mizu has gone too far. They will allow, no, Alacrity, he gets called up by Sam H just on the edge. They'll get the Impale off, and that'll be a 3-for-1 trade. Maybe a little bit too excited.
Definitely too excited. Now Tino's very close to the BKB. Like, he's actually going for the E-Blade first, so some protection from the physical damage, and giving him some more agi in that slot, I guess, trying to buff up his damage output as well. I don't mind that too much, as long as he manages to actually use the E-Blade. So you can save yourself from the damage from the Jug and TA, but if you get hexed up, you're still dead. Big issue is, again, spell immunity's not on hand. Jokam can just pull off the same move, blink forward hex. Tino's going to have to be very cautious about his positioning, but they have bought some time out. They can stall the game out a bit longer, try to build up items. It's very hard for them to go into any lane right now with no outer objectives left. There is a Roche in 17 seconds, 16 seconds here for either side to look at, and it's going to be easier for GXR. Potentially a free Ags or a refresh, and either one is big. Ags would be great to give as a freebie towards In Your Dream or towards Alacrity for the Sideblade upgrades or the Mini Slash, or sorry, the Psionic Trap upgrades. And the refresh, of course, will go to Mizu if it is one. So Roche is going to be really important. Is the refresh on hand here, so you could get the double Ravage off. I think GXR might just want to consider that objective first before trying to go on the high ground again.
Well, both teams will need to definitely try for it. think for Omega, if you can just try to take that Roshan away, it makes the game so much harder for GXR to close out. Even got the nice little refresher shard there. Be very nice for Mizu on that Ravage.
I'm looking at Tino, right?
Yes.
He bought out the concussive grenade.
Isn't this meant to be all right? I'm not sure. I don't play this hero, John. I've got
The range
standards
is
myself,
garbage.
but it's
Look at the range. Look at his attack range. It's anti-synergetic because you have to be so close.
I think the
It's a bit
idea
awkward.
is, I think the idea is if you get jumped, you can knock them back.
Yeah, I suppose the issue is when he gets jumped, he's hexed up. You know, it's like, tell me
True.
if he's not there anywhere.
Well, that is true. Omega, we're going to move in. Smoke broken on Mac already. Shrapnel will give plenty of vision, but a bit of a dangerous team fight into the Tombstone. I'll just back off and wait out that Tombstone to expire. Traps are flying in, and Mizu, a big Ravage out onto 4 heroes. Look at the side blades just bouncing right through Tino. He will drop in your dream on a CML, and Mac's gone to boot. They asked the question, John. I don't know how to pronounce it. But they've asked the question. Is GXR, they are into the Roshan pit. But what a Ravage out by Mizu.
Oh, he found the angle. 4-staff blink into the middle. Those psionic traps are just too much. The slow was channeled up. They've been there for a while. The silence just ruined them. And Omega just not respecting that. They didn't have sentries down to watch that. They kind of flubbed their initiation through the high ground. The Tombstone to deny the area from Paulson was great. Now they've got to hold on for their dear lives. They've got the buyback in their sniper ready. You don't necessarily want to spend that. But doesn't look like they have much of a choice. With a refresh up, Mizu can just go for another Ravage play and try to close the game out.
DD Rune as well, and Alacrity going to make it that much faster. You've got the buyback on Tino, but he doesn't seem to want to commit it. I suppose with Shanks on the Nyx Assassin, you probably could delay this decently. Okam, oh, he's in with the Hex. They've got the control. Shanks is gone. He'll buy back. They're on to Sam H as well. It's going to be alright, but that tier 3 tower is dropping relatively fast. Tino still holding on to the buyback, does now respawn and max in. They've got the call off, they've got Alacrity. That'll be the first life. They find the second. Jokam already in with the Hex onto Tino, but he's not going to get caught out. In fact, now the turnaround, a big impale out from Shanks, holding them down. Alacrity, he'll BKB and run. Tino, though, moving forward with the rest of the team. Shanks looking for another big stun out. We'll get Paulson with it. They'll get the Undying. They'll hold the high ground. They only lose the T3 tower, so they're alright. Mind you, Alacrity, he does have a Swift Link up now. Is the TA that much stronger? But as you saw, John, the problem is, without the Aegis up, they just... It's just so hard to fight.
Yep, it's the sniper effect on high ground. It's hellish to push that high ground. You've got shrapnel flying through, you've got great defense with your Ags on the Nyx as well. Shanks has been doing so much work to set up for his team. He did have to buy back, and he made a bit of a mistake. He jumped out of Burrow to try to go back into it for some reason. I think he wanted to move away, but ended up committing to stay, and it just killed him. So no second life here for Shanks to have on hand in case he does get picked off. And the Swift Blink is also done in IYD, so you've got them in your two big cores. Sam
H, Ravage committed to Sam H. He had the BKB this time, but Alacrity is going to come in to try and help out. Sam H still trying to find a pathway to get out, but he will drop. In your dream, being very aggressive here towards Sam H. Mizu, he has the Refresher Shard and the Arcane Blink anyway, so the cooldown of the Ravage very, very low. And if he needs it on the spot, he can refresh. In fact, Mark, BKB TP himself, but now you've got 2 BKBs down for this high ground defense. GXR, they could try to rush for it. Ravage will be up in 30.
Yeah, it's very fortunate for Mizu. Not just the Arcane Blink, I think he had the Arcane Rune running as well, so that's super low cooldown Ravage. And he's going to have a double Ravage if he wants to. So Omega have to be very, very cautious. play to their high ground defense, wait for this respawn in the Axe. They need a call to come through from Sam H.
Oh, right onto Mac. They want the tiny gone. Ice Blast is there though. Alacrity, he's been caught out. Both mid laners down. Now in your dream, gonna try him back. They will focus the Tombstone. Apollison has also been caught. Ravage, it was cancelled. The Blink Dagger of Mizu.
No.
He was in the shrapnel. He didn't realize it. Now Sam H gonna catch out another.
Oh god. Oh,
The high
God.
ground
This
defense
is,
continues.
this is just a sniper game, man. This is every single sniper game. This reminds me of some of our dual queues up against a sniper. As well. You know, it's just hellish. You just can't do it. You can't, and you know, Mizu would have had an awesome double Ravage there, but even that was ill-timed because the TA is already dead. They need to start with a Ravage. They need to be brave. Just jump in, commit, get a couple of kills, even if it's not the sniper caught in Ravage. You'll have the numbers advantage, and you can kind of try to fix it from there. For Omega, they're not really gaining too much gold. The lead is still 13k away of GXR. They haven't really swung that back. I think it was at max 15k. So it's kind of reeling back, but not in a major way. But you're holding on. You've got opportunities to shove out the wave. You can start rewarding around the Rosh pit. Watch for the next Roshan, which will have the Ags upgrade and the free refresh on hand. Oh, I didn't realize concussive grenade knocks you back now as well. All right, that does make more sense. Yeah, it looks silly, but it is helping Tino get his position right. All right, so that's fair enough. He is still holding on for the E-Blade.
No,
he's got the gold for buyback as well.
I think he's going Divine Rapier, quite frankly. I don't know if he's actually going to buy out the E-Blade. We'll find out. Joe Cam, smoke broken on both. Mizu going to blink out as well, but they're still chasing him down. Shanks, he found the Lion. Mizu, he can refresh Ravage. He might need to as well, because Sam H did find him out. His team trying to connect to help him, but Mizu is going to die without popping it. And the rest of GXR now going to have to just walk back and find another way. Just buy more time for the respawns. But Omega are slowly making a comeback in this game.
Yeah, it's the late game against Sniper. Your TA feels like it scales off a bit. The Jug is still pretty big, but In Your Dream has not been able to commit his Omni Slash on the target he wants to. And Omega's getting some room to breed. 8k in the bank for Tino. If he is thinking about the Divine, I think he's trying to give himself leeway for buyback. It's almost there. He's almost got the amount needed for buyback and Divine. I think he needs just about 1,000 gold more. So not too far off from that. You're going to be able to get that shove in on the mid tier 2 just a bit. But you have to watch your side lanes. Like a little bit of a shove from In Your Dream. There's no tower left. The racks could just be run down by creeps.
Well, that's tier 2 tower, John. Just melts. And Omega, they got something. That's enough for them. They've got an objective. They understand what their late game's going to look like. They're more than happy to just back out. And I'm telling you, John Tino, he's got 9k gold now. This has to be a Divine. It's gotta be.
Yeah, he's only about 80 gold left from the surplus for Divine and buyback. So it's probably it. Like he has it now. No, it's still 70. But once that's up, he has his level 25 talent, which it took him a while, but there it is, plus 100 range. So he's hitting from half the map, half the screen away. Literally end to end of the screen there, and the smoke.
Paulison going to be spotted here by Shanks. Shanks not going to go for the impale. Tino's running very far forward. They might be able to catch him out here. There's the Aeon Disc and there's the Ravage. They've got the sniper, but he got the Ghost Scepter off, and the toss out of the second Ravage. Shanks will die, but they did not get the sniper. Meanwhile, Sam H does cop the full brunt of the Omni. He does have buyback, but he won't commit it yet. Meanwhile, CML going to be chased down. In fact, they want back, but he'll BKB TP away, and he will make it out. But they've got a 3-for-0 trade here, and there's your Divine now, Tino. He will wait no longer. His teammates will need to buy back to help him out, however, and they are going to be missing that Nyx Assassin.
That missing the Nyx is big. Shanks has been setting up with the Impales, with the Spike Carapaces, with the Mana Burn, just constantly annoying them. This is enough to drive GXR back, though. I feel like they could be a bit more confident without Nyx, but without a Ravage up, I think their control is also kind of lacking. Like, they rely on Ravage. Joe Camp's been pretty on point with his hexes, but, Earth Spike Omega's just been split up enough to not have the Earth Spike be a massive issue. Alacrity does pick up his Butterfly, and this is gonna hurt, a bit, because you don't get True Strike and Divine anymore. It's not gonna feel amazing for him. At the least, I guess you could count Headshot as a pseudo piece of accuracy, so you do have a way of dealing with some evasion with Headshot. But it looks like, for now, GXR is gonna have to eye that next Roche. They've got the traps up. Half a minute left. That does mean Shanks will be respawning right before the Roche is up, so Omega could look to make a play there. They could look to try and snag away the Aegis, and if they can actually make that happen, that could open up the possibility for them to breach that opposing high ground on GXR as well.
Yeah. MKB now being built out on Tino. Looks like he's kind of forgetting about his buyback gold, which is a little bit scary for Omega. Speaking of scary for Omega, they are going to find a target. Aeon Disc propped by Polison. That'll be enough. He's out of there. And this is why it was scary, John. Tino's got the MKB, no buyback gold, and Roshan's up. I suppose...
This is the all-in play.
I suppose with the Divine, if you die anyway, you're kind of screwed. So you probably don't need buyback anyway for Tino. It's just all in.
Yeah, I'm surprised he feels the need for it. And Headshot is sort of like a pseudo-accuracy stat that can sort of pierce through evasion or give you a chance to. So it's kind of strange, but they are posturing around the road.
Oh, Ravaging Mizu. He's got 3 already into the 3-man Earth Spike.
Oh.
They look to blow them up at Tino. He's going from range. They don't have the sniper under control yet. Polison's going to drop a double kill, but an ultra kill for In Your Dream. But In Your Dream, he has been caught out. He will try to run, but Mac is there with the toss. You cannot forget about the sniper.
Oh no. This is dicey for GXR. Roche is up. They are 2-man down. No buyback in the jug. They cannot afford to give this away. If it actually goes the way of Omega, they could again go into the high ground. They've got a refresh and Ags upgrade to come up here as well. A lot of important items. Tino has to stand in the pit. This is something they could abuse. He can't just stand outside because all the damage is on him. He has to do the damage to that Roche.
Yeah, but are they going to be able to jump in and take it? No, they will not. Tino, he's got the Aghanim Scepter, he's got the Aegis up. So now you've got to worry about the whole stun on the Assassinate thing going on. Which, by the way, if you're a support player out there who plays support sniper, I hate you with a passion. Please stop doing that.
What's worse, Mike? Techies players, Pudge pickers, or
snipers?
Sniper sports?
No, the snipers are infinitely worse.
100%?
Yeah.
Worse than Tinker players?
Oh, well, let's not push it that far, John. I can deal with the snipers. It's when they're on my team is the problem. That's the issue. It's these support snipers on my team. They're just... We don't need your 1-second stun from 2,000 range. Thank you. You could just choose any other support with a better stun and we would be happy. Anyway, moving on from that, John. Pretty epic game going on right now. 45 minutes in, a 12k net worth lead for GXR. However, the win probability, which was at basically 99% earlier on, is now dipping back the way of Omega. And I think rightfully so, because till this point, Tino's just not being caught.
Yep, they just can't handle him. Who did they end up giving the Ags upgrade as well? But they handed it to Sam H. So he's got the Berserker Call with the minus armor on the Battle Hunger being applied on it. That is really big. Now Sam H needs to hit 25. He has to hit that AoE. I think he'd really want the AoE for more control. He's too far off from it. If he actually gets priority for the book, get some EXP going, with that call, plus all the damage coming out from Tino, the shrapnel coming through, Avalanche Toss, Ice Blast set up, I'm getting scared for GXR. They did not end the game fast enough, and normally, when we were talking about GXR versus Motivate Trust, we said that was about the 25-minute mark where they couldn't end. This time, I think they had a leeway for 35 minutes where they should have been able to end it, and they just couldn't. Now it's biting them in the bum. 3k lead, just down to 3k from 16 at its peak. And now Omega with the Aegis, they're smoked up. They're the ones looking for kills. They want to blow this game wide open now.
Yeah, they definitely do, John. Silver Edge is also up now on Shanks, who's even harder to catch out. And you've got a refresher shot on Sam H, so if he gets one good call off, he can just refresh and get a double call going. And as we know, in that time, Tino is just going to pump them full of bullets. Now I'm wondering what Tino goes for that final kind of item here once the Aegis does expire. I guess we'll find out. Maybe a Daedalus or something like that. GXR, I mean, you can't really farm much more on these heroes. It feels like you are starting to max out for GXR in terms of itemization, at least on the TA and the Jug. But they understand, they just can't go back to the high ground, no matter how much farm they have. Unless Tino's dead, they can't do it. Oh, now Max even got a Daedalus up.
I love it. Like, he is pretty much set to be that right-click Tiny now. I'd love to see an Ags for him. Have the free volley, so you've got two people spamming hits from a mile away. That sounds perfectly balanced. Now, you do have the Hex up in Alacrity, so he's got a way of dealing with a sniper if he somehow gap closes. So it's not all just down to Jokam getting his Hex off.
Uh-oh. Well, they caught out in your dream. He's been caught out by himself.
I'd say wicked sick.
Ooh, no.
How did he do that? Don't tell me he was farming the mid lane there. I think he was farming the mid lane.
They were sort of clumped up. They were sort of clumped up. IYD stayed on this side of the map. The rest of his team was here going up. And it just... He got jumped. They were both smoked. Omega was in the right spot. They take out this bot tower from that. They're trying to keep the lane shoved in here from GXR's end, and they do have the super creep advantage in that sense. But they have to defend. They're always going to be able to just send Sam H with his solutions, and this is where the Axe gets so valued. You're not, you know, a powerhouse and more in damage or control or whatever, but you can keep these waves shoved out by yourself, enable your team to force out a push, and look for the counterplay. In this situation, when you're two lanes down, Sam H is doing a lot of work just ensuring that they're not going to get run on their tier 4s.
Yeah. There goes one lane of racks now from Omega. That is the bot lane as well, which is going to make it that much harder to try and be able to catch, or rather get the Megas. However, CML, he's going to die, and in your dream board back. He's trying to start a fight here with the team. They're trying to slow them down and catch up. It looks like Omega might be just fine as Mac. He will just TP away with the BKB. And that is a very questionable buyback, John. He had nothing to TP to either.
Yeah, this is scary. If In Your Dream gets caught out again, that could be it. That could spell the end for GXR. 5k lead on Omega's end, 2 lanes down. They at least managed to even out the bot lane, so it's a bit harder for GXR to look for that final lane of racks. With CML down, they could feel a bit confident. I don't think CML dead is the issue. Maybe if it was Shanks who died, you'd feel a lot better. Because the Nyx Assassin's burrow is just way too strong. Ice Blast is still annoying, but you know, it's a hit or miss anyway coming through here. Omega is going to be able to hold on. They do lose the Aegis. It expires. So there's no safety net right now for Tino, but he does have buyback gold up and running in. He's trying to save up for his own BKB now. Trying to get some protection going.
Here's the thing though, John. If Tino hits level 30, how do you even push anymore? Like, he's going to have 6 shrapnel charges on top of the ones he already has. The shrapnel DPS goes up. He's buying a moon shard. No, never. He's going for a BKB. He's playing it safe. How are they going to get to the high ground again?
They can.
All right.
Full stop. Maybe, honestly, I think at this point, Alacrity wants Ags. Like, just have the psionic projection. You at least have someone who can jump in real quick without having to worry about the blink. Jump in with a trap, hex up, try to burst down Tino ASAP. And the issue is no one else can follow up because of the shrapnel flying everywhere. So, I know. It's just very hard to reach to that back line. It's hard to get the split push going in these lanes because of Sam H. And the side of Omega is just playing on the opposite side, keeping the lane shoved in. They're going to look for an angle onto the mid set of racks. They can't quite do anything about top because the tier 1 stands. But they are reeling it in their way now. So it's feeling a lot better here. And they are going to smoke up. If they get the wraparound here on GXR, GXR is not going to feel too great here.
Let's see if they can make it work. Alacrity's got the high ground advantage. He can break the smoke, but they see him. The Ice Blast's gonna fight through. Impel Avalanche toss. They have got the TA. Have they got the damage though? Ravage is out. They found the sniper.
No.
In Your Dream is gonna make his way over Tino. He has been caught and he's down. Divine Rapier down. In Your Dream does pick it up. Maybe now they can go high ground. Sam H also to drop along with Shanks. They'll go after CML next. All these heroes have buybacks available, but they have no longer got the Divine Rapier. They didn't have a backup for it either. GXR, they're going to back off and defend their base. If they can somehow kill In Your Dream and get the Divine back, it'd be quite nice. Otherwise, Tino, he's back on farming duty.
Yep, it's a bit tough for Omega now. Their positioning wasn't perfect. They tried to get a wraparound, but Tino was way too exposed in his position. So they're going to have to consider options. Now, Roche is a really fast spawn here, Mike. 5 seconds. It's down to the Roche again. No Ravage means that it should be a bit better for Omega in theory, but their damage output's just not high enough. Fortunately, because Mac did go for that Daedalus build-up, he can do the damage for you. A rather interesting build-up here from In Your Dream as well. Did I just see him? He should have had the orc. I saw a refresh.
Yeah.
On
He, I'm pretty sure he just used the refresher shot. No, he bought a refresher orb on the courier, put it back on the courier afterwards, and sent it back home.
Ah, I see. Yeah, it is in the courier. All right. Really next level place, keeping that item slot free for the Roche. Very smart, In Your Dream. Now, the question is, who's going to commit first? They're standing outside. They've got Ravage back up here. Refresh on Mizu. Almost off cooldown. Omega, they're in a very awkward position. They need this Roche-chan just as much as GXR does, but they need to find a way to sneak back that Aegis. Sneak back that Divine. Try to pick off In Your Dream, and well, he is playing a lot safer now, so it looks like a bit of a stalemate. You definitely feel that massive momentum swing back to GXR over just one really good Ravage.
That's all it takes. Dota Plus just kind of going all over the place now. No idea what's going on. GXR going to be very, very patient. Mind you, we are just about 5 minutes away from those tier 5 items popping up. So that should be very interesting, depending on what people find, if we do get to that stage. I think neither team really wants to leave it to luck, but I suppose if you're Omega, you really don't have much of a choice now. If you could find a Ballista, John, pretty darn good for Tino, but a big smoke up GXR, they definitely don't want to allow that possibility. Because that would be really annoying, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
GXR, they're going to run in.
Nice scan.
Very nice scan. Also going to run the long way around through the back. Ice Vortex out, not going to see anyone. Now CML will break the smoke and will run right the other way. Mizu, he has the double Ravage up. They are going to make the jump in. They have found Sam H. He does get the Ravage, or rather the Tide is down. Paulison is also going to drop, but meanwhile Tino, he got taken down by In Your Dream with the Omni Slash. The Aegis will respawn them up. Alacrity going to come back in with In Your Dream, and they look to clean up Mac now. There's your Ravage out, and there's the GG call. It was a great start for Omega, but in the end, it looks like GXR managed to take it and they forced it to a game number 3.
Oh, that was so close from both teams. GXR had the massive lead for a very long time, and then we saw that same issue we saw from them with Motivate Trust. They just couldn't close the game out. Omega played really well on the high ground. They built up into Divine, on Tino, and then just one bad position on that smoke gank. On the wraparound and behind, getting caught in the Ravage. That's why he probably needed a BKB in one slot. If he had a BKB, at least he could have done something, but got isolated, lost the Divine. They try again, and GXR just managed to clean up. Very hard-fought victory for Galaxy Racer. They do force the game number 3. They're hanging on to their spot here at the Loot Bet Pro Series 6. We'll have to see who does come out on top. That was a very long game between both teams, but a very close game, and I'm just excited to see what they bring out for Game 3 now.
Well, let's find out, John. We're going to head off to a short break, but right after that break, we'll be back with game number 3 between Omega Esports and Galaxy Racer Gaming. We'll see you then. Excuse me, Galaxy Racer Esports. We'll see you then.